I asked Floyd if he thinks he has forgiven us for what we have done to him. I don't think he has forgiven us. So this morning, when I woke up to the news, I was like,
I
it
think,
is what it is.
The former SG wanted to say he left us with a debt of 28 million.
Those were Julius Malema's words, a warning about the political memory of Jacob Zuma. And if you've followed South African politics for long enough, you know Zuma's grudges aren't the kind that fade quietly into history. They sit, they simmer, and when the timing is right, they strike. Floyd Shivambu's whirlwind romance with the MK party might just be the latest chapter in that story. He joined the movement with confidence, chest out, speaking as if he was building something historic. Within months, he was gone. And in his wake, explosive accusations of R7 million being withdrawn from party coffers every month, and counter-allegations that he left the MK party drowning in R28 million of debt. So, was Floyd a valued architect of MK's rise, or just another pawn in Zuma's long game of political revenge? To understand the tension, you have to rewind to the days when the EFF publicly broke with Jacob Zuma. It wasn't just a political disagreement, it was a political divorce. And in Malema's view, Zuma never forgave them for it. Floyd was no minor player in that chapter. As the EFF's deputy president, his hands were on the wheel during that split. Years later, when Zuma welcomed him into the MK party, some saw it as a surprising reconciliation. But in politics, a handshake doesn't always erase the past, sometimes it just hides it. For Zuma, bringing in a figure like Floyd had two advantages: it strengthened MK's organizational machinery, and it brought an ex-opponent close enough to watch, control, or neutralize. When Floyd arrived, MK was still in its formative stage, a movement with passion, but without a strong organizational backbone. He got to work quickly, setting up branches, formalizing campaign structures, and pushing into key provinces. Floyd himself would later claim that the party's structures were absent before his arrival. That wasn't just a boast, it was a subtle reminder that he had turned MK from a loose movement into a functioning political force. With his operational know-how and political experience, MK became more visible, more organized, and more electorally credible. But building a political machine is not cheap. Resources were flowing, campaigns were running, and the financial stakes were getting higher. Then came Floyd's bombshell. In a public statement, he accused people around Zuma of bleeding MK's finances, withdrawing R7 million every month. It was an extraordinary claim. And it wasn't just an attack on faceless administrators, it was an accusation that touched the core of Zuma's inner circle. This is where Malema's warning echoes. If Zuma truly never forgave Floyd for his role in the EFF's past opposition, this could have been the moment where the simmering tension boiled over. In political spaces where loyalty to the leader is paramount, a public accusation of corruption is rarely survivable. Floyd might have believed he was protecting the party's integrity. But in the calculus of Zuma's politics, he had just painted a target on his own back. Floyd's departure from MK came with his own triumphant spin. He spoke about a new chapter in his life, walking away as if on his own terms. But just 48 hours later, an MK insider claimed Floyd had left the party at R28 million in debt. The accusation landed like a precision strike. It turned the man who had claimed to be the party's builder into the man accused of financially wrecking it. In politics, narratives are power. By framing Floyd as the architect of a financial disaster, MK's leadership could simultaneously deflect attention from its own money troubles and undermine the credibility of one of its most high-profile defectors. For Zuma, it was the perfect counterstroke: discredit the critic, protect the inner circle, and keep the party's public image tightly controlled. If you've watched Jacob Zuma's career, you've seen this movie before. Allies are loyal until they aren't. And when they're no longer useful, they are not simply shown the door, they are escorted out under a cloud of allegations. Malema's line, "I don't think Zuma has forgiven us for what we did to him," isn't just about Floyd. It's about a political style. Zuma's grudges are not loud, but they are strategic. They unfold in stages, and they often end with the former ally politically neutralized. In this light, Floyd's rapid transformation from party builder to alleged financial liability doesn't look random. It looks deliberate. The fallout from this saga is bigger than Floyd. Internal instability, public accusations, and contradictory financial stories chip away at MK's credibility. If the public starts to believe Floyd's exit was engineered revenge, MK risks being seen less as a political alternative and more as a personal empire built around Zuma's loyalty politics. That could scare off potential donors, fracture provincial alliances, and embolden rivals to portray MK as a one-man show. Floyd Shivambu may have given MK the visible infrastructure it needed, branches, campaigns, a semblance of order. But the invisible infrastructure, the real power, that stayed firmly in Jacob Zuma's hands. Now, the man who claims he fought to stop MK's money from being siphoned off is painted as the man who nearly bankrupted it. Whether those debt claims are true or not is almost beside the point. In politics, perception often matters more than fact. And in the background, Malema's words still ring, "I don't think Zuma has forgiven us for what we did to him." In South African politics, grudges don't die. They evolve. And sometimes, they come disguised as a handshake until it's too late.